Welcome to the podcast. I am here with my boy, Dylan. Dylan, say hi to the people.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And we don't have a name for the podcast as of right now, but we're trudging through it. We just talked about making this a thing, and now we are making it an actual thing because we want to talk about football, baby. That's exactly what we want to do on this podcast. And, maybe we venture into some other things, but for now, one of the biggest things that comes with the game of football has just happened. And, boy, what a draft that has occurred. This is the off-season Super Bowl for most teams, so we will get right into this recap right here. We're going to do about the first round, and then we're going to go do some other things. Let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into the first pick, which not much of a controversial pick here.
Not much of a surprise. But leading up to the draft, I've not really been that high on Caleb Williams, just because we've heard so much about him for the past, 3 years, that it almost feels like a boring pick.
I know. I almost wanted something else to happen.
Yeah, I almost wanted something else to happen, but it's the correct pick for the Bears.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't overthink this. They did take 5 minutes on the clock, but I guess it was just doing their due diligence. But, not even doing their due diligence in the sense that they're looking at other prospects. Just, they're just respecting the process. So they just were like, I think Ryan Poles said something about it. But, they were just like, this is an easy pick. We've had this pick for months. So they put it in. Don't overthink this. They didn't fucking keep Justin Fields. Thank God, right? This gives you another route you can go. And now Ryan Poles has just built a crazy offense.
I was going to mention that later on in the draft of
and we'll get to
weapons.
Pick 9s.
Yeah,
but for me, this has to be an A pick or A plus if we're doing plus minus. It's just the right pick. You didn't fuck around and find out. You fucking stuck in pick after all this nonsense. You did what you needed to do. You got your generational quarterback, and which some are saying is one of the best quarterback prospects since Andrew Luck. So, or maybe even better than Andrew Luck. We'll have to see. People are already talking about them going 10-7 or them winning a playoff game, which a rookie quarterback had never done until C.J. Stroud, unless you want to consider Joe Burrow's rookie year.
What do you have Caleb Williams for his floor and ceiling?
Floor and ceiling. Okay, so you talking about as a player, or are you talking about successions? So are you talking about how he does, when
his career's all said and done.
Okay.
Yeah, when his career's all said and done, if we want to skip ahead for an example, for Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, his floor is Justin Fields, right now Justin Fields, and his ceiling is Lamar.
I agree with that ceiling. I see. Who's the other person? Oh no. Yeah, no. His ceiling to me for Jaden Daniels, and we'll get back to Caleb Williams, but his ceiling for Jaden Daniels for me is definitely Lamar Jackson. I agree with that. I think, if he does really good, he does what he's expected of him. Probably turns out to be Jalen Hurts, right? And so I think his floor, though, no matter how things go, I agree. Justin Fields probably is his floor, which, it's not that bad of a floor.
In my opinion, it's a high floor. It's a high floor.
It is a high floor. So, it's a matter of if he has the talent. It's going to be the matter of, again, he didn't have. You're an LSU guy. You know this. He didn't have to throw in the middle of the field that much, did he not?
Because he had his. Yeah, he had receivers streaking down the field with 10 yards of separation.
And that's another thing, he had something Drake May didn't have at UNC, right? So, and not necessarily Caleb Williams either.
But another thing is comparing him is like coming out. His receivers had all that separation.
Yeah.
Wasn't that also the knock on Joe Burrow? His receivers were too good.
Yeah.
And had that much separation.
But then he kind of inherited a pretty good wide receiver trio again, though. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That might be kind of Bill's strategy too. Is let's just see how Josh Allen does without receivers, because Patrick Mahomes did it. So let's just go show the world that Josh Allen's just as good.
One Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no, that's what that's what I'm thinking. The Bills are gonna be cocky, think that they can just do whatever they want. But that they went and drafted a wide receiver with their first pick. So
yeah, after they traded about 500 times.
Right. And speaking of which, the Packers just traded up for the 111. Patriots just took a guy I liked out of UCF, Javon Baker. Very underrated, and honestly was a second-round sleeper for me, and he now gets picked in the 4th round to the Patriots, which I believe was Patriots' first wide receiver pick. I could be tripping, but I believe it was their first wide receiver pick. See, now I wish with the draft tracker is I could, see which teams.
Hold it now for you.
But for Caleb Williams, though, his ceiling's got to be Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. The floor, though. Man, that's a tough one to think about.
I personally see a really wide range for
There is a wide range. You got to think about all the number 1 quarterbacks that have been taken. It's been pretty rough.
The Patriots took Jalen Polk from Washington.
So they did double dip in wide receiver, and I like that Polk pick. I love how they're, but here's the thing: Polk's pretty redundant with Demario Davis, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but again, just got to get weapons for our boy Drake over here. So, who cares, honestly? It's gonna be a new system. It's gonna be a new set of operations. Everything's gonna be new. So that's actually perfect for a new quarterback. That's why I was, fine with the Drake May pick. But in my opinion, I kind of wish the Patriots would have went Marvin Harrison and then draft a quarterback next year. But again, there's no security with next year's draft on who's gonna fucking shine, right? Right. As of right now, none of those quarterbacks. I know Shadir Sanders probably gonna people are gonna have him
higher,
right? But as of right now,
next year's quarterback class, I feel like next year's quarterback class is going to be like the Kenny Pickett draft.
Oh, don't even.
There's going to be one quarterback that's going to fly up the board late and then just fall, and nobody's going to know why, like Malik Willis did. And then it's just going to be, for lack of better words, average quarterbacks.
Yeah. I just it worries me though, because a lot of these guys are just gonna kind of, they have to somebody, and Jane Daniels, he wasn't in the top conversation before this year, was he not? So
no,
they all jump. There's jumps, but again, you don't you don't know if you'll be a 3 next year. So just take your quarterback. I get it. But Marvin Harrison to me it must have been a hard decision, because Marvin Harrison is just a goddamn dog, man. I mean, he I feel like I have been saying this a lot. I feel like he's guaranteed 1,000 yards this year.
You think so?
I think so, and especially where he went, now I think it's definitely going to happen, because Cardinals don't have anybody like him on their team. They don't have no X receiver you can throw on the other side. You know what Chase Daniel said, though? He said, my bold prediction was that he's going to drop in the draft outside of 10 because he's an older style receiver. Offenses don't really operate with a X receiver that kind of does their own thing on their own little island nowadays. they get everybody involved and they have everybody kind of maneuvering and moving around. And Marvin Harrison's just kind of like your guy you throw to the side and just work on the DB the entire game. But I'm just like, there's still guys in the league like that are flourishing. So why are we going to sit here and say, like, oh, that won't work? Like, think about Devontae Adams.
Yeah, like,
think about DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. Like, you can't tell me there isn't guys like
Take it back a few years, Julio.
Literally, bro.
Like,
I just don't quite understand what he's going with that. I just thought it was so funny. He said follow the top 10. Like he was going to be the third wide receiver taken. I'm like, bro, this is a once-in-a-lifetime receiver. Everybody's talking about him like this is the best receiver I've covered either in my whole scouting career or in the last decade or two. Like, come on. Like, why are we sitting here acting like it was not a good pick? And that kind of transitioned us to the Cardinals pick. I mean, I really, really like that they just stuck in picks.
I have one last thing about Drake May.
Okay, yep.
He's either going to become Tom Brady or be Mac Jones. He has no in-between. He's going to be one of the two.
You don't think there will be an in-between? You don't think there's a chance it could just be...
I honestly... He's a boomer bust. He's just...
Yeah, and I guess with Jaden Daniels, too, there's more of a floor there. But, in my opinion, Drake May was...
Jaden Daniels is being a Washington fan. Last time we took a quarterback second overall.
Oh, no.
He was my favorite player of all time. Still have the jersey. And, yeah.
Injury.
Yeah, that's my main concern. But with Mariota to teach him how to run and when to run, I'm not.
That would be good. I know. A lot of people aren't even thinking about that. Because we saw Jaden Daniels take some pretty big hits in college. Looking like a cartoon character. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's gotta be, you gotta know when to do it, man. I mean, there's some quarterbacks that already know what to do, and that's really a desirable trait. But because again, it's you gotta, like, quarterback, you can't be getting hurt. That is the last thing you're doing.
Yeah.
But
so back to Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison. Yeah, what do you think about him? What's your thoughts?
Oh, I think he's phenomenal, and everything that has been said, that you've said, and all the other scouts, I really believe that he's going to be a playmaker for the next decade.
He's just got it in him, bro. You can't even like he's so smooth. Everything he does makes sense.
Quite literally has it in his DNA.
He does. Like, it's just there, bro. He can feel he can feel DBs on him. He just has amazing awareness. His catch radius is the best in the draft. I don't care if you want to say Roman Dunze does, but he is the best catch radius in the draft. Like, if it's getting thrown at him in a one-on-one, he is catching it. Okay? I don't care what DB is on him. He is catching it. And so, Tez Walker just fucking went to the Ravens. Okay. But, like, again, it's just, like, you have so much confidence in him when you're watching the game. And I think that's a big thing. How much confidence you can have in a player when you're watching them. And he instills so much confidence. So I just feel like, to me, the fact that there was I get it, some teams like different flavors. But this is not a flavor part of the draft. This is get the best guy. And it's either go get the best guy in your need, or go get maybe reach a little bit for your need. But there's no
there's no reach here. This is 100% get Kyler help. He needs it.
We don't. There is no we like this prospect over this one, but I think he fits our system better. So let's go get the guy that is on a whole nother tier, lower. Sorry, I know you're an LSU guy, so I don't know how you feel Neighbors.
Any other year, Neighbors is the number
Oh
one
no,
team.
I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. His ceiling is Jamar Chase.
Yes.
If not a little higher, maybe. I don't know.
You and I have talked about this a little bit, but we'll get into
that.
Yeah.
So now we get to the Joel pick, which you, before the podcast, told me you were a little eerie on it.
I understand you need to protect Justin Herbert.
Yes.
But with Malik Neighbors on the board and that type of playmaker, you need to get Herbert help. You just lost Keenan Allen. Your only weapon right now is Quentin Johnston. Let me say that again. Your only weapon is Quentin Johnson.
What wide receivers did they get?
I'm not throwing any shade. Quentin Johnson's a much better football player than I
Palmer,
ever was.
Johnson.
But,
it's.
But if there's a player like Neighbors, you got to take him.
I think Harbaugh kind of saw what happened last year and was a little skeptical about taking a wide receiver again first round. And with what him and Greg Roman like to do, they don't really care about having top-tier wide receivers. They're more so 2 tight end sets, 12 personnel, run the fucking ball first. And that's what we're going to see. And they got Gus Edwards for that, right? And J.K. Dobbins. So they're trying. So
okay,
So
they're going to, you know what?
I think they should have got Latham here.
I'm not going to get into it because, they don't have much other way to go other than up. But if there's a player like Neighbors, I just feel like you have to take him. And if Harrison goes at 3 to the Patriots, I think the Cardinals have to take Neighbors.
Oh no, yeah, Cardinals are taking Neighbors or they're trading down. But see, again, that's why I think the Chargers should have traded down. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, sticking and picking there.
Exactly.
I didn't get it. I didn't completely understand it. Unless you were taking Neighbors.
They could have traded down with the Vikings.
Oh, and then, oh my gosh, they would have had another first-round pick.
They would, yeah.
And they did trade up. They did trade up to go get Ladd McConkey, but I don't know how they're gonna use him. That's what I mean, because I don't know, dude. Because it's rough. It's rough because I would have rather had them. You know what I would have rather had them do? Trade down. Get Brock Bowers, okay?
Yep.
Which maybe he didn't want Brock because he wasn't a prototypical tight end. He wasn't like
that's who I would have had them taking at 5 to begin with.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that, but then people didn't feel the value, and clearly NFL didn't feel the value either. But I see, like with the Raiders, right? You're like, why the fuck would they draft Brock Bowers if they already have Michael Mayer there? Because Michael Mayer is your bigger tight end. He can do more of the run blocking. He can do more of the inside stuff, right? But then you have Brock Bowers who can play anywhere on the field. You can throw him at H-back. You can throw him anywhere on the fucking field. It's not gonna fucking matter. He's gonna be your Dalton Kincaid, whereas Michael Mayer is gonna be more so your Dawson Knox, right? So it makes sense why the Raiders did that, but that's why probably the Chargers didn't do that because Harbaugh would have wanted more of a Michael Mayer than a Brock Bowers, right? So I don't know what have they done anything at tight end? I don't know. I kind of wish I had all these picks on the board. I could honestly go to their depth chart, but like I really think if they were gonna go tackle, like how I just told you, like take the best player or reach for a player that fits. But but don't go more so like flavor, go fit. What I mean by that is someone you like better for your offense versus someone that will be more comfortable in your offense or is a part of your plan. But like how are you going to sit here and wide receiver for me, it's not like I'm not going to sit here and be, oh, yeah, I need this wide receiver over this one because this one fits more of what I'm doing. Unless it's more towards the second, third round, like a Malachi Corley who has unlimited yak potential, right? Who can just get so many, like I forget the stat. It was crazy. He was coming out of Western Kentucky. He goes to the Jets. They traded up for him. And he basically, if he gets the ball in his hands, is going to go 10 yards almost every play. Isn't that crazy? If he gets the ball in his hands on a screen or anything, he's getting a first down. Insane. That's insane to have, right? So with all that being said, I think they should have gone for a more run blocking tackle. And I personally would have went Latham here, and the connection was there. Guess what? Harbaugh tried getting Latham to Michigan out of high school, and obviously he goes to Alabama. And the thing with Latham was a lot of scouts were saying he could play guard at the next level. He's that big of a guy, and he doesn't have the craziest arm length. So put him at guard. Put him at guard. You still have Trey Pipkins out there on the right side. Obviously, you're not touching Rashawn Slater. Boom. That's a running team, bro. That is a team you can run the ball with. Instead, they get Joe Alt, which I get it. Herbert isn't the most, non-touched quarterback. Like, he gets sacked a handful of times. So I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, well, you have great pass protection, but how are you going to run the ball and do hardball things? But at the end of the day, I would have went Latham here or traded down for Latham. I get it. Joe Alt, probably guaranteed, not guaranteed like an All-Pro or a couple Pro Bowls, right? So.
Yeah. I'd say for me, I had Latham as my third tackle. But
right, but it fits.
And another player later on.
Who is your second tight end? Or tight end tackle?
Fashanu.
Okay, good. But Fashanu doesn't fit there.
They were 1A, 1B for me. 1A, 1B.
I agree, and that was a lot of what it was for a while, and then after the combine, it seemed like all just picked up a lot of steam.
And I hate the combine.
I do too.
Xavier
Worthy. Sorry.
It doesn't make it. The 40 times bother me. Players.
The 40 times. Yep. Yes.
Ross.
Xavier Worthy.
They don't mean anything. I don't like the combine. I understand for like the physical measurements, like you want to get everything together in one time, but it's like, yeah, I'm just not a fan. I understand the necessity of it, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I get it. I just you can't sit here and be like, okay, well, this is this is the best player because they ran this fast. And this player sucks now because they can't run a good 40 time. Like the Alabama corners. They didn't run great 40 times and they fell like fuck. All right? So
but they don't need to because they can cover.
Exactly.
That's
Terran Arnold might be the best man player in the fucking draft.
Eye test is the biggest thing with me.
Yep. Production eye test.
Right, so on to pick 6.
Yeah.
I think we both know how I feel about this. I love the pick, but I hate the team. So
come on, man, OBJ.
It's a bittersweet kind of like OBJ was for me.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I wouldn't say he's generational talent, but like I said earlier, he's a number 1 in literally any other draft class.
Yep. I completely agree, and that's what I heard a lot of. And like I said, a lot of teams had him as their number 1. I actually think the Giants probably had him as their number 1, as his number 1. I think they were one of those teams.
Yeah.
And it's such a different receiver to what they're used to over there. This is gonna be fun.
Well, do I think it's gonna make that much of a difference with your quarterback situation? Honestly, no.
No, but this is what I love that the Giants are not doing is quarterback. Now I think they could go get Spencer Rattler right now.
Yeah.
But
like let him sit and learn what not to do and how to be a pro and things.
Oh my god, I didn't realize Christian Haynes went yesterday. I'm sitting here like thinking, oh my gosh, why is he dropping like this? He went yesterday. Okay. I honestly wanted Christian Haynes as the Steelers, but we got the better guard. But back to this, I think, Darius Slayton's cool, but the idea is, hey, Daniel Jones, buddy, we'll give you one more opportunity, right? You had an injury season year. The year before, you made the playoffs. You did all this good stuff. You won a game against the 14-3 Vikings. This is your year.
To see if he's a Vanilla Vic or Danny Jones. This two completely different players.
Right.
We're gonna figure out this season which one he actually is.
And that's good. That's what they want to do, and I respect that. I didn't like them trading up for Drake May, even though they wanted to do it. I didn't like them, the idea of them taking J.J. McCarthy at 6. I didn't like any of that. I really didn't like any of that. Because is J.J. McCarthy just going to come in the Giants and be as good as be better than Daniel Jones right off the rip? Do we really believe that? In all honesty, no. There's no way. There's no way he just comes into that situation and he's just automatically better. Say what you want about quarterbacks, but every year situation matters a lot for almost everybody, if not everybody.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
speaking of situations,
I just keep hearing, oh God. So, I don't even know how he's going to work in Denver if he does see the field, because Bo Nix is obviously starting and we'll get the 12th pick. But a lot of guys like Daniel Jeremiah were like, I've been watching this Panthers film, and I'm like, God damn, bro. I feel so bad for Bryce Young. Constantly getting pressured. No separation down the field. How is he supposed to succeed when that's what he's dealing with? Right? And so they're addressing that in this draft, thank God. But, because, I mean, they just got my 2 tight end, too, as well. But what?
I feel like the Bryce Young situation is like, for a lack of better comparison, the Browns quarterback situation for who knows how long, like from Tim Couch till like honestly, they still aren't. Still, they don't know who their quarterback is.
No, they haven't had.
With the way Joe Flacco played, like,
well,
he paid all that money to Watson, but if he's not going to produce, and like, what's it worth?
It's not worth anything, and that's going to go down as one of the worst contracts, right next to Russell Wilson's. And so, and I'll say this to the day I die: Baker Mayfield got fucked over. Bro said, "Hey,
Baker.
Yeah,
you've known it for years. I've been the Baker guy ever since."
Which not a lot of people were.
Yep. Was it the Kansas game? Game?
Yep. Oklahoma they didn't shake hands, and bro said, "All right." He said, "All right."
Since that game, I've been a Baker fan.
It's like bro decided, hey, I want to make sure this team does stuff, right? So I'm gonna fucking play. All right, I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm not gonna go get shoulder surgery mid-season and say I'm out for the year. You guys have fun. I'm gonna play until I literally can't. And he plays like shit because of that.
Him and Matt Stafford have the same mindset, and I love it.
Yeah, but see, Matt Stafford didn't get screwed over like this.
Yes.
Because he didn't have this big of an injury like this, where his shoulder literally was keeping him from throwing the ball correctly. You could watch it. His labrum was literally restricting him from throwing it correctly. And when you're not doing something, like a lot of like what players lean on, they can lean on their routine things that they've just built over the years through so many reps, right? Like it's not like they're having to do so much different shit. There's a lot of habitual stuff that they have that is just so good they don't have to like overthink it, right? So with this, it's like your throwing motion. If your throwing motion is gonna be completely different from what you're used to, you're now having to overthink. You're now having to do more thinking than you ever had to do in your entire football career just for throwing the ball. And then now it's inaccurate. Now it's underthrown, overthrown, right? It's like, dude, it's like he was missing screens, like, because again, it's habitual. Screens are very habitual. It's you turn, you throw. It's not crazy footwork. There's like, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, he got screwed over. Now he goes get put in a worser situation, which Sam Darnold couldn't, Bryce Young, nobody's able to fucking work in that situation. Who knows if CJ Stroud works in that situation over in Carolina, right? So Baker got screwed over. Now we're going on to the 7th pick here, which the Titans.
I was gonna say, now that we expressed our love for Baker,
yeah,
this honestly felt like a boring pick to me because
I would have went fashion in here.
The Titans have always been like a run first team. At least in my memory, they've been run first.
But now they don't have Derrick Henry. So does that change?
But they have Tony Pollard. Listen, I know,
Yeah.
I know Tony Pollard is not Derrick Henry. But you still have, it was one down year. You have, I would say, a top 12-ish running back in the league.
Yep.
you have somebody to actually block for him now.
Yeah, Tony Pollard can block.
So, and you can you're protecting your franchise quarterback.
You know what's funny though?
Levis.
You know what's funny though? You know how similar
What?
he is to Tyjae Spears? Like, it's almost, like, insanely similar. And you know what's funny is Rams just did that same thing. They just drafted Blake Corum, who's very similar to Kyren Williams. So,
and
that's what a lot of quarterbacks, they're doing committees now. It's not more so bell cow, one guy. Like, this is the Titans are now switching to more of a committee now. And that's why I'm like.
Similar to what the.
So Latham makes sense, I guess, because you wouldn't need Latham if you had Derrick Henry. But with Derrick Henry gone now, I think.
With Derrick Henry, there can be a guy coming unblocked, and he's still going to get 3 yards.
No, that's what I'm saying. So with Derrick Henry, I think you could have went Ola Fashanu. Because he didn't allow a he didn't allow a sack in his career. Okay? Yes, he let some pressures up. Yes, he let some tackles, whatever. Who cares? The fact that he let a sack.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
He didn't let up a sack in 600-something snaps. So he's a polished pass protector. He might not be that good in run blocking, and with that being said, that kind of makes sense why they went the Latham route. And then they can play Latham, like guard if they want to. They can move. Now they can move people around as they wish, right? I think they're gonna stick with Dillard at left tackle. I think what they might do is put either Skoronski at right tackle or Latham at right tackle, and just have that right side just solidified, right, with Latham and Skoronski. So I fuck with it. But again, if Derrick Henry was here, I feel like they go Fashanu here. I just truthfully, I think, because again, you said it, I said it. That's our tackle too. 1A, 1B, right? So I don't know. It is kind of boring, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they traded down here. They could have done that, but again, I think they liked Latham.
Time for my favorite pick of the draft.
Oh, here we go. 8.
As people close to me know, I am a Kirk Cousins hater. I think he is horrible, the worst starting quarterback in the league, and Michael Penix, guaranteed by.
You didn't watch quarterback, did you? You didn't watch quarterback, did you? On Netflix.
No, I saw he was in it and said, "I don't care. I'm not watching it."
You don't think you would have got a newfound respect for Kirk if you would have watched that?
Absolutely not. Nope. He ruined RG3's career, in my opinion.
So
I will hate him till the day I die. By week 7, Michael Penix will be the starting quarterback in Atlanta.
Even with the dead cap?
Even with the dead cap. By week 7.
Okay. So if you guys don't understand, he is Dylan over here is a Commanders fan. So
Die hard.
Die-hard Commanders fans. So Kirk Cousins, didn't really have a great tenure there. So not really something Dylan likes when we talk
also,
about Kirk
100%
Cousins.
biased. 100% biased. I hate Kirk Cousins.
So that's gonna be a reoccurring theme here on the podcast. So
100%.
So I mean, okay, so let's get into this actual all the extra stuff here because this
taking my bias out of it.
Yes, yeah.
Pick does not make sense with your situation. Taking the name out of it, it's like you just paid a quarterback how much money?
Yep.
Just an ungodly amount of money for not a long time.
Okay.
And you draft not just a quarterback, an older quarterback.
Yeah, I was just about to get in that. I was just about to ask you.
And by the time the huge contract's over, he's going to be damn near 30.
Yeah.
At that point, you're looking to draft a new quarterback. This is just a wasted pick.
I know, and that's what I was about to ask you. I said if Penix was, let's say, 22 here, would you draft him?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
because you'd think, okay, Kirk's playing average to good, right, on his 2 years, and now it's like, okay, his contract. Well, his contract is 4 years, right? But it's really a 2-year contract because they can get out of it.
Yeah.
But he's playing average to good. So now Penix is 24, which is the same age as Bo Nix and actual Penix, right? So
Yeah.
which is weird to say, but in context, it makes sense. But now he's 20. Let's say he was 22 coming out of the draft. Now he's 24. Now it makes more sense, right? Because Bo Nix he's about to start his first NFL game at 24.
Which is a normal age.
Same with Jaden, right? I think Jaden's 20.
Yeah.
24?
Yeah, Jaden. Jaden's 24.
Because I mean, dude, they showed the one thing, him throwing to Ayuk against Denor.
Against,
Denor both from the 49ers, like, dude's been there for a while. Thanks to COVID. We'll never see something like this thanks to COVID.
I think he beat Herbert in that game.
Yes.
They're playing Oregon.
They were playing Oregon.
He beat Herbert. Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy, but and this is one of those situations where it pisses off both quarterbacks. So now you have two pissed off quarterbacks, and now they're not going to be happy with each other.
Yeah, like they already hate each other.
Maybe Penix doesn't hate Kirk Cousins because Kirk was already here. Kirk was like he's more Penix is more going to be mad about the leadership, like the ownership and all that, like the blanks. And in reality, this doesn't seem like a Blake decision. This seems, and again, we saw the video of Torrey Fontenot trying to talk him into why he did this pick. Yes. So, and I didn't feel like this was a Raheem Morris pick. In all that honesty, I think this is truly all Torrey Fontenot. So, oh my gosh, Dolphins got my second best running back at 120. Those fucks. How are they gonna go and do that? This is like the Eagles getting Quinyon Mitchell at 22, man. I don't. And then Cooper DeJean at what? 41, 40.
At 40.
Come on, bro. Jalen Wright was my running back 2 behind Brooks. I really loved his film. His start-stop speed. They just talked about that. It's insane, dude. He can get past any defender one-on-one.
So then my question now is, I forgot to say this at the beginning. I am no expert.
Yes. I
am almost as casual as they come.
Right.
Do you think he could transition well to like a slot role?
Jalen Wright. Or are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, dude. Okay, because Raheem Mostert is going to be your power back guy. Devon Achane is going to be more.
Achane's going to be your bell cow.
So,
like, I see the only place you'd fit in is like a third down back.
Yeah. So slot would be. Yeah, no, I think he would very well in the slot. I think that would be fun.
So why would you not try to get more playmakers on the field at once? And no disrespect to Braxton Berrios, but
yeah,
it's like
I really thought they were gonna go with they went with Chop on the defense. I thought they were gonna go with Worthy.
I love that pick.
Chop.
Yep.
We'll get to that. Penix, I feel like we could talk whole podcast. We're gonna move on. We could literally go on that. That's a whole train wreck. Okay. That we don't know if the train wreck is gonna turn into them getting back on the trails, or if it's gonna turn into the train station gets shut down. Okay. So. Oh, AJ Barner finally comes off the board. Okay. At 9.
Number 9. This is the best receiver room in the league.
This is crazy.
This is the best.
This is why. This is now okay. I understand why you want Caleb Williams. The expectations for him to go playoffs right away. I get it. But now that they get Roman Dunze, it's like okay. Now I completely understand. Like that he better get it.
The Bears have done such a good job at setting Caleb Williams up for success that it almost makes me jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a Washington fan,
yeah, they haven't exactly done that.
Jaden Daniels is coming in with Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. I love Jahan, but it's like they lost Gibson, they lost Curtis Samuel. It's like we lost Logan Thomas. they're losing playmakers while the Bears got Keenan Allen. They already had DJ Moore. They got Odunze. They have DeAndre Swift now. It's impressive what the Bears have been able to do.
Yeah, I really, it really just, like, it kind of feels like the Texans thing where it's like, okay, you've done what you need to do in the offseason. Now let's see it on the field because, a lot of these teams, like, they feel like they do good in the offseason, but then it's just like on paper it looks amazing, but then it's like.
I hate to interrupt you. Speaking of the Bears, best pick of the draft, they just took the Iowa punter, Troy Taylor.
Wait, they just took a punter in the 4th round. Oh my gosh. Pat McAfee is.
The Bears have absolutely won the draft. I'm an LSU fan, but I also I'm a
Troy
huge
Taylor
wrestling guy,
is,
and I love Iowa. So, Iowa punter for the brand.
Oh, the punting highlights.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Well, you know why he was it.
All day.
Well, you know why he was really good? Because he got so many damn reps because I was punting it every damn fucking drive.
Hey, if you only need 3 points to win the game, why wouldn't you?
Bro got so much film. Bro has so much. Bro has all the film in the world. No wonder Cooper DeJean's a great punt returner because they were practicing it so much.
They said, all right, offensive practice. All right, you get 3 plays, we're going to special teams.
Yeah, dude, it makes a lot of sense. And yes, he is the Matt Araiza of this draft.
No way Sketch is announcing a pick.
Oh, yeah, no, I heard about this. He was announcing a Texans pick, for sure.
What's up, brother?
Oh, no, I want to turn the audio for this. I honestly want to turn on the audio for this.
I gotta,
hold on, because I
go back and...
Yeah, you're a little ahead of me, probably. Hold on.
Well done. It's called 3 phases of the game.
3 phases.
Defense, special teams. Special teams coach that school.
Oh, everybody's screaming. Oh my gosh.
What's
What?
up, brother? Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. Cade Stover. I love this pick for them.
That was awesome.
I love this
I'm
pick
so
for him.
fired up.
Cade Stover was one of my top tight ends here. I really love this pick, and he can sit behind Dalton Schultz for a little bit there. I love this pick. But yeah, I thought, honestly, I thought Sketch was actually announcing a pick earlier, but they had Christian Harris do most of those picks. But no bias, obviously, about the Cade Stover pick. But I really like.
Yeah, you don't have any bias like I don't have any bias.
Well, he's a linebacker converted to tight end, so you know what I really like that versatility because now he's going to be a great blocker for them in the run game.
Now they got a video of him petting a cow.
Yeah.
As a
oh no, he.
boy. I love
yeah, no, that no, no. I saw something about the what. Oh, it was Joe Alt. It was like it was him in a.
Oh yeah, the quarter zip.
The quarter zip and like a log cabin in Minnesota. Like this kid is
8-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, offer him. But no.
All right, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
We done talking about the Bears?
Yeah, we're done talking about the Bears.
All right. The Minnesota Vikings trade up.
Oh.
The Jets to get J.J. McCarthy.
There's a lot of what things could have happened here, but
I originally hated J.J. McCarthy. Not hated, but I did not think he was going to pan out. But the more that I see come out about him, the more I've been buying into. I love J.J. McCarthy.
And you know what? He gets the best situation out of all these quarterbacks too. Which, well, I mean, you could say Caleb Williams is maybe better.
Caleb Williams. We were just talking about how they did so well,
but Bears historically have not had good situations. Not even like that. Not even just like with the players that they have on paper. Mostly it's just been the play calling. Right. So
I I think that this pick might be the Vikings' best quarterback since Brett Favre.
Which is crazy because they didn't even
Like
draft him.
when his tenure's done, this I knew what I meant. This is going to be the best quarterback to play for the Vikings.
They haven't had someone where they've drafted him and they've panned out. Maybe they were thinking Culpepper, but it didn't really pan out for them.
So
They've
my
kind of been
brother told
floating
me
around.
this thing. I don't know if it is true or not, but J.J. McCarthy was asked the difference between him and Kirk Cousins,
Oh no.
and he said something along the lines of Kirk Cousins like got a bag or something, and McCarthy says, "I got championship rings." And again, don't know if that's true. He might have been making it up, might have been a meme or something. I don't know. I love that. Love the swagger. I think he is going to be a contender for Rookie of the Year.
Okay, we'll get to those. But yeah, this is great system. He's going to Kevin O'Connell. That's amazing. He's all he has to do, and I think this is my ceiling for him, or not my ceiling, but my floor for him is Brock Purdy. So the Jets at 11. All right, old fashioned him. I thought this pick was perfect in my opinion. What do you think? What do you think about it?
I love the pick. He was, like we said earlier, like 1A, 1B tackle.
Right. It
Like,
gives you security, right? It just
yeah, and we got an old Aaron Rodgers over there. This is a little more, pretty much to eliminate what happened last year in 4 plays. Like, I don't really want to bring it up by saying what happened because I feel like that's bad juju into the world, but
Yep.
yeah, 4 plays is not what you should have out of Aaron Rodgers, and this helps eliminate that.
Yeah, and you have Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, who aren't exactly the youngest players or the most healthy, like, history guys. So
Dog.
what?
Morgan Moses is a dog.
Oh no, he is a dog, but he hasn't truthfully had the career that you could say, oh yeah, we can trust him to play all 17 games, right? So with that being said, now this gives you flexibility. Truthfully, I would kind of wish they would have went Fuaga here too as well, just because that gives them more flexibility. But Olu's the better pass protector, so and they need a pass protector for sure. In case something goes down, but you're not gonna play Olu at guard, so Olu's gonna sit. But God forbid something happens to these 2 tackles, he's there, which is amazing to have. So
It's almost like
and he's your
almost
future.
like an insurance pick.
It's an insurance pick, and he's your future. So,
Yes.
you cannot go wrong with that pick. I know it's not the sexy pick, but it's the smart pick. We all know it's the sexy pick because he goes 2 spots later. But before we get to that, Bo Nix. What do you think about it? Do you think I truthfully didn't think 6 quarterbacks are going in the first round, and they go in the top 12?
No. Bo Nix, he does a lot of things good. Like,
Right.
there's nothing he does that jumps out and impresses me. Like going through the other quarterbacks taken, Caleb Williams, his like playmaking ability, just making something out of nothing. That's his go-to thing. Phenomenal. Jaden Daniels obviously is running. Drake May, the accuracy. Next was Penix. Penix, that deep ball.
Yeah.
McCarthy. I think McCarthy's just a born leader.
Right.
There's
Intangibles.
he
Yep.
He just doesn't.
You don't see any discrete
excel.
trait.
Like, I don't see,
Okay.
Yes. Like, I feel like every prospect has like the one thing about them that separates
them
the
from
rest
other.
of them.
Okay. Yeah.
But Bo Nix is just the thing he separates himself with is his age. He's just old.
Well, if we watched him at Auburn, and before anything he did at Oregon, we wouldn't even be talking about him right now. He'd still be his name would still be floating in the draft space right now as we speak, right, with Spencer Rattler and all these other guys that haven't even went yet, and it's the 5th round. But what I felt was the reason why I said I didn't think it was going to be 6 quarterbacks in the first round. And I understand the Penix thing because I was high on Penix, but I didn't think the NFL would be high on Penix at all. simply because how old he was, all the stuff before that Texas game. But that Texas game reminded me of the C.J. Stroud game. I said this on the live the other day. It's like you can't sit there and like forget about that game. That game he played insane. So you can't sit there and be like, oh, well, this quarterback doesn't have an upside. Yes, he the fuck does. Did you not watch that Texas game? He has an upside. So Falcons took the upside there. But with Bo Nix, man, my opinion was if he doesn't get taken to 12, Raiders aren't taking him. No one else is taking him. He could fall to the 3rd round. That was my opinion. Okay? Maybe the second. Right. Maybe.
Could take a chance on him.
In the second, though.
Yeah.
Not in the first.
Yeah. No.
Because Ramczyk, man, might not even play. He might retire. Okay? So they needed a tackle. There was no questioning that. If they would have went anywhere else, I would have questioned that. But I just feel with Bo Nix, this could be Kenny Pickett-esque, where it's gonna be. I'm not saying his career is gonna turn out like Kenny Pickett. It's okay. This guy fits our system. Where Steelers, I felt like it was more like, okay, well, we have the same grade on all these fucking quarterbacks, but we need a quarterback, so let's take the hometown guy. Literally, that's literally how I felt about it. This is how I feel about Bo Nix, but not hometown, but more so system. Bo Nix can do what Sean Payton wants him to do. That's run his system. Guess who wasn't doing that? Russell Wilson. All right? So that's okay. And guess what? Denver doesn't have a 2nd-round pick. Denver could have traded down here, but they're like, let's not get sexy. Let's just take our guy. But, yeah, I mean, there's a world where they get a 1st-round talent, trade back, get Bo Nix in the 2nd round, or later 1st round. I don't know. I think it's they got their guy, might have reached a little bit, but can't get sexy with it all the time. So that's that. Next pick, Brock Bowers at 13. This was a surprise, but
I love the pick. The only thing I love more than the pick was the girl with the leg tattoos when he got drafted. But yeah, he's Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, whoever wins that QB battle, they are jumping for joy. They love this pick. They are excited to get a playmaker like this.
Juice.
You can put him anywhere. Put him anywhere and he will thrive.
I don't remember if Renfro's gone or not, but you'd think he's gone, right? You'd think. I just feel like they got their 3 guys now. This is it. Well, yep, and then Tucker's there. Oh, he is gone. Okay, good. I felt like, they did their due diligence. The fact they got JPJ in the 2nd round, too, man. I knew they needed a lineman. But I think they were cool with Munford there on the right side, but they got Parham. Okay. Yeah, so with this Brock Bowers pick, though, again, like I said, Michael Mayer, he's going to be your big body tight end, whereas, Brock Bowers, you can put him anywhere on the field. So I don't dislike this pick, but it did come out of nowhere for me. And, again, who was mocking him to the Raiders? Not a soul. So it was fun to see that happen, actually.
I have him going at 5. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is great value. He's unquestionably a top 10 player. It just was a matter of who sees him as a tight end and who really sees him as just another wide receiver, to be honest. I mean,
yeah.
I really just don't get let's not draft him this high because he's a tight end. Dude, he's not a tight end. He's different. He's
a Kelsey.
He's literally...
He's a Kelsey, not a Kittle.
That's funny because, a lot of people are saying he was Dallas Clark mixed with George Kittle.
But I see George Kittle, like if I need a blocker that will also catch passes.
Yeah, Brock Bowers isn't the best blocker, so yeah. All right, so 14, like I said, Saints needed a tackle. This makes all the sense. He can immediately play right tackle for you. If Ramczyk in the world that Ramczyk comes back, and you're you're still like, you still think Trevor Penning can work out, which I don't think will happen. One of the worst first-round picks we've seen in a while. Sorry, but it's true. You could put him at guard. I heard a lot of people talk about Fuaga honestly being an all-pro guard if he's put there. I mean, some teams could have used him as a guard, like the Bengals, or other teams he could have fell to here. But I think he just starts at right tackle for you right away, and you move Penning out to the left side if Ramczyk is not there for you. But if Ramczyk is there, I truthfully believe that there is a possibility he plays right guard, but I forget if it's left guard or right guard. But he plays guard for you, and you give Trevor Penning another chance. But I think if Ramczyk's there, you should put him at right tackle. Just a run mauler, man.
Yeah.
So that's going to be nice for their younger running backs, for sure. And they still have Kamara. So Kamara's going to be happy with this.
A little throwback on the draft. The year that Kamara got drafted, I was mad because Washington had, like, the next pick or the one after, and I wanted Kamara, but the Saints took him.
Yeah.
Who we took after? Perine. Perine, a couple picks later.
Samaje Perine, baby.
Yep.
Who was, he was, at one point he was kind of outplaying Joe Mixon there.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Broncos.
And
then
that Sean Payton system is death for non-pass catching backs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Javonte Williams.
So the next pick was Leatu Atu.
Yeah, this one shocked me a little bit, but but when the board was falling the way it did, it made sense. So I was like, wow, they could really go edge here, couldn't they? And then they did it. And next thing you know, edges go every other pick.
Yeah, I'm just surprised it was Latu instead of Dallas Turner, just because of the injury concerns.
Yeah, so it is surprising because we just saw a bunch of injury guys fall, but this one doesn't. So it is very funny to think about that, because it's like, okay, well, in history, all these teams get scared about drafting injury this high, but we saw players that were fringe first round, second round, third round drop all the way to the third round, fourth round, fifth round because of injury history. But we don't see a first round talent slide at all. Like 15 is kind of where I saw him. That's where I saw him going. Like at all, like not obviously to the Colts. I never saw this. But like that range, like the range made sense here. But he didn't slide from it at all. Like, and maybe the NFL viewed him as a top 10, top 5 talent because his production was there.
Slide down.
Yeah, and he slid down a little bit, but it's like they felt like he's that good of a player to where they can take a risk like that on him, because in my opinion, he's my defensive rookie of the year candidate. If he can stay healthy, he's there. His production is he is the most polished pass rusher in this draft by far, in my opinion. And he has the ability to he has so many moves on his pass rush. It is insane. Like how he's just like compared to like a guy like Dallas Turner, who just uses his strength and his athleticism to get at the quarterback. But Latu, man, he's just guaranteeing you production. Maybe not rookie year, but his second year for sure. It's already there. He knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of not really developing, but just staying healthy. I mean, that's really what it's going to come down for him. And I get it, why they would take him this early despite all the injury concerns.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's not my defensive rookie of the year. We'll get to that pick.
Okay.
Also,
wait, was your offensive rookie of the year candidate McCarthy, or is that he's just a candidate, or who's your pick? Okay.
He's gonna be top 3.
McCarthy's my pick, just because of the situation.
McCarthy's your pick?
Just because of the situation, which is crazy, isn't it crazy? Because I was so low on McCarthy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, both of my picks are coming later.
Okay.
Down in this
Okay, I like that. I respect that. All right, so now we
Um,
move on to 16, huh?
Yep, Byron Murphy the second. I'm a Texas hater, so I don't know much about Byron Murphy the second. Again, casual, but
Oh,
fitting in a D tackle here in Seattle,
yeah.
it makes sense. But again, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, so he provides you a little bit of flexibility on that D line. Because you can put him at actual nose guard or you can put him at 3 tech. And with that being said, Seattle has always needed that inside presence on the defense and the offense. So they really haven't had much in the trenches for a while now outside of Abraham Lucas. So this has been that's a really good pick for them. I mean, they have edge guys, like really good guys like Boye Mafe. And so I think this is exactly kind of what they were thinking. I mean, Devin Witherspoon was like, they were asking him, like, obviously other than Johnny Newton, because, Devin Witherspoon's for Illinois and Newton's from Illinois.
Yeah.
They're like, other than Newton, who else would you want? And he's like, Byron Murphy. Like, he didn't change out the position. Like, he was like, oh, yeah, I want this other guy from this position from the guy that I actually want because bias. But it's like, that's what their plan was this whole time, and when he fell to them, it made a lot of sense. Even though I thought they would go try Troy Fontenot, and so did a lot of people, I think they understood they could get a pretty good interior lineman down the board. I think they got Christian Haynes, who's the guy I wanted. So that's actually a great pick. He was my third interior. So for them to get in my eyes, a top 3 interior later down the board and get their first round talent in Byron Murphy, just upgrade the trenches, which has just been a problem for them for the last couple of years. So I like it. I like the pick.
Dallas Turner to Minnesota.
I don't know how I feel about this one. It is a weird one because they traded up pretty high.
And but also, I see this as them trying to replace Daniel Hunter.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Grenard, I think, is on a 1-year contract. Could be. So they have been building their team for Brian Flores in his blitzing strategies because they get Jonathan Grenard and they get Van Ginkel, who can both kind of drop back in coverage, because a lot of what Vikings do is they blitz a lot, and then when they don't blitz, it's a lot of people just dropping back into coverage. So there's no in between. Yes, it's a lot of zone. There's no in between. There's not a lot of in between at all. So with that being said, they're getting guys that fit that mold of, when you need them to, they can blitz the quarterback, but can also, drop back into coverage. And you have guys like Grenard and, again, Dallas Turner and Andrew Van Ginkel. So it makes a lot of sense what they're trying to do. And I don't know. Hold on. This is a spot rack moment, baby. I think Grenard's only on a 1-year contract, so he doesn't stop you from taking Dallas Turner or trading up to get him. Because I'm sure Vikings viewed him as a top edge.
As their edge, and they didn't want him dropping to Cincinnati or L.A.
Yeah, no, Cincinnati could have definitely viewed him as their top edge and could have went him because, obviously before the draft, Trey Hendrickson had requested a trade, and Sam Hubbard's not stopping you from taking him either. Even if Sam Hubbard, I checked his contract, he's with the team until 2026, but that's not stopping you from taking Dallas Turner. Grenard, I think Grenard's on a 1-year contract. So Turner to me. Oh no, Grenard is secured till 2028.
Oh,
so it is weird. I don't know. Now Van Ginkel probably is not secured long enough, but maybe they view Grenard and why is his name not popping? Oh, because I spelled it wrong. But maybe they view those two, Turner and Grenard, as their future. And obviously, like you said, replacements for Danielle Hunter.
All right, Amarius Mims out of Georgia goes to Cincy at 18. Protect Joe Burrow at all cost. He's your golden boy.
And this makes so much sense too.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't feel like we need to spend too much time talking about it because it's like the Caleb Williams thing. Like, you get the best available at the position. You take him, you're happy. Joe Burrow's happy. Now figure out how to get some more money to pay Jamar Chase too.
Well, and one thing I will say too is it's very nice because they can sit him for a year because Trent Brown is there. So there's no rush into it, and the reason why I say he needs to be sit for a year is because he didn't have many snaps at all, but he's built amazing. He's huge, and he doesn't necessarily play like his weight. So like he plays lighter than he is, and like I said, he doesn't have to play right away, and you can develop him because he didn't play many. I think he played 8 games in Georgia. I could be wrong.
That's it.
Yeah, I think it was literally just 8 games. I could be wrong, but you don't have to play him right away, and that's really all that matters. But he still has unlimited upside. So I could see why that pick made so much sense to them. I kind of wanted him for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That Georgia connection would have been nice, but going on before the Steelers though is the Rams, who take Jared Verse. How'd you feel about that one?
He will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I was on Verse, dude, because if he was drafted a year before, he would have went higher. He was.
Here's my reasoning for that.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald at all, because Aaron Donald is a top 2 defensive player of all time. But Verse is a plug-and-play type of player.
Oh, 100%.
You can have him do whatever Aaron Donald did.
Yeah, and he's a guy that uses a lot of his strength as his, that's how he gets to the pass rusher, or he gets to the quarterback. But yeah.
And he's 6'4", 260.
Yeah,
so he can play. He has the ability to play inside too.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I like that. I like that you called that out there because and obviously we saw Kobe Turner, make his name shown there or known. But that you never know if that's because the whole team was worried about Aaron Donald the entire time. Yeah. But again, this tandem that they now have with Verse and Kobe Turner is going to be fun to watch for sure. But yeah, he was my number 2 edge. I'm not that high on Turner. I'm going to be honest. It went law to Verse. It's just what I thought. I kept thinking, I was like, why is everyone so high on Turner, and why do they think he's going to the Falcons at 8? And then it's a fit thing. It's such a fit thing. It was such a fit thing, and I just didn't see it. And him dropping to where he dropped made a lot of sense to me. But I think Verse. The thing is, what I think of Turner? I think of? What? I just think of that Trayvon Walker pick.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm worried about.
But it's with Walker. His first season was underwhelming for a number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the grand scheme of things, what do you have, like 4 or 5 sacks as a rookie? That's not a bad season.
Right. But that's my point is, like, when you're drafting someone this high, you want production from them right away. Like, not right away, but like, and I get it, Walker's getting better, and that's the whole point for them to get better. They shouldn't be expected to just be a all-pro
like
first year. Yeah, right. That's not the point. But and especially with Trayvon Walker, that's what I'm getting at. They're both raw prospects in my opinion. So they're both like, okay, here's this athletic freak who has a crazy upside, and if you tap into his potential, this kid could be one of the best players in the NFL. I get that.
It also feels like he was drafted by the Jets last a couple years ago. Johnson. What's his name?
Johnson. Who are you talking about?
Edge rusher.
Oh, Jermaine Johnson. Jets.
Yes. Yeah, he went to Florida State.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think
it kind of feels almost like that too.
See, and that's the thing though. And Jermaine Johnson went higher, but I think Jared Verse was a better prospect than Jermaine Johnson. And what I was going to say earlier was I think Jared Verse would have went if he would have declared for the draft last year. He would have went ahead of he would have went in that Raiders pick with Tyree Wilson. you imagine verse with Max
Max
Crosby right now?
Crosby?
Bro.
That's disgusting.
And again, Tyree Wilson was that athletic freak that just played off of raw strength and hasn't really panned out so far. But again, it's 1 year, so we can't really judge too much. But
Yeah.
and then again, also the Raiders didn't use him that much for whatever fucking reason.
Because they're the
Probably,
Raiders.
yeah. Well, because Max Crosby's conditioning is insane and can play 90-something% of the fucking snaps. But I don't know. Jared Verse, I like that. I like your D-Roy pick there, but I like that we both went edge rushers too. Even though considering, this defensive class. And that's the thing too, is it's hard. It's going to be hard to kind of figure out who the D-Roy will be because think about it. The first 15 picks
not
was
a weaker class. Yeah.
the first 14 picks were offensive players. So, who knows who the top. There wasn't one guy in the defense. You're that's the best player in this draft for defense. There wasn't one guy. You can't.
It wasn't even like that either. It was even last year. There was Jalen Carter too. In the mix. It was I'm blanking on the draft class.
Will Anderson.
Yeah, Will Anderson, Jalen Carter. There wasn't anybody that was remotely almost worth a top 5 pick.
Yeah. Well, I think Will Anderson though. I agreed with it. It made sense, and he won D-Roy.
Yeah.
So.
Because somebody has to.
Well, yep, somebody has to, but it's nice. Hey, dude, you know what my D-Roy was last year? Dorian Williams to the Bills. Hey, he got playing time because that Bills linebacker room got fucking they got sent straight to the hospital. Jesus, it was looking thin there. Same with the Steelers, but speaking of Steelers,
I'll let you take all the reins on this. I don't have much of an opinion.
Even though he's near Pittsburgh, he lived near Pittsburgh.
I hate the Steelers.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I would have been there with you years ago. I used to be a Bengals fan, so. Anyways, Steelers. I love this pick. I just love it so much. I didn't expect it. I hated this pick months ago, but the more and more and more I heard about Troy Fontenot this offseason, I loved this player. He will provide us so much versatility because we can move James Daniels back to center or to center if we want. We can keep him at guard. We can get Dan Moore the fuck out of there, right? We can keep him in there if we want to. If we want to play Fontenot at guard, but I think he best suits at tackle. Even if Fontenot could play literally any position, he could play center for us if we wanted to. But he's just gonna play better at tackle. And he can play right or left, whatever they feel is best. If they want to move Broderick Jones out at left tackles because they feel he has more upside there, or he just generally is a better blindside tackle, go ahead for it. Go for it. Thankfully, both these quarterbacks are right-handed, right? But truthfully, it's just so much. It's so good flexibility, and I love that. And there's so many connections with him being a Steelers fan before he was drafted. And then him also having his favorite player be a other Hawaii guy in Troy Polamalu.
All right. And then, you ready to move on to the next pick?
Yep.
Sean
Dolphins.
Robinson.
Yep.
This is my runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Another raw guy.
Yeah. My thing is, if you get a raw guy and get him in the right system, they're going to be absolutely insane.
You know how the Dolphins looked at this, right?
What?
You know how the Dolphins looked at this, right? Speed.
Yeah. I mean, that's all the Dolphins care about at this point, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the running back they got.
Their team that doesn't have speed is Tua, so.
Yeah, they should go get a speedy quarterback.
They should
Speaking
trade
of
up
which,
they should trade up the second overall pick.
oh god, oh god, no, everyone's
not.
mocking. See now that actually, what's funny now that you said that, Penix probably could. and I saw a lot of people talking about, especially Joel Klatt from Fox, Penix going to the Dolphins just because he fit their system so well.
He's a left-handed quarterback.
And now with him going at 8 like that and sitting behind someone, it makes so much sense for if Penix didn't go at 8 for them to, or Raiders at 13, that the Dolphins would have taken a chance on him. That makes so much sense now. But I'm glad they didn't do that. Now, as much as like this is the fourth edge on a lot of people's boards, because again, a lot of people felt it was those 3 edges, and then there was a drop in level. A lot of people were like, Chop can't leave the first round, and that's how I felt, But as we went through, all the growing pains and stuff like that, and he didn't have the best of. I don't think he had the best of season 2023. I could be wrong, but he brings you that speed. He's got to learn some moves coming into the league. That's for sure. But I mean, I get it. I understand why they made this pick. Again, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb both coming off of season-ending injuries, so it makes a lot of sense. And as much as I would love them to go O-line there, they didn't even think about going O-line there in all reality. So, makes sense.
Yeah. 22, Quinion Mitchell to the Eagles. My only concern is he played at Toledo. I know we can't really, compare that because, Kareem Hunt played at Toledo. A bunch of these guys played at smaller schools. But there's a huge difference between playing against Bowling Green and playing against Alabama.
All right, you want to hear why that doesn't worry me? You ready for this? Because when he went to the Senior Bowl, he was dominating against Power 5 guys. But here's the thing with that. All the guys he was dominating about are just hearing their names picked now or earlier today. So
he wasn't guarding Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Correct. So that could be now
or the next pick.
But here's the thing, he checked all the boxes. So I mean, the film was good. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible for him to be a star. Sauce went to Cincinnati. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to be a star, but I would put him on I'd put him closer to an Emmanuel Forbes rather than a Sauce.
Well, thank God. Well, the person I think could be like Emmanuel Forbes is Wiggins, and that's if it doesn't work out because his weight.
Yeah.
So
I was saying more on
talking about
overall level at this point.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably why he dropped as far as he did. Again, this wasn't the greatest corner class. Yeah.
If he went to Alabama, he would be a top 12 pick probably.
Yeah.
If there wasn't 900.
And he had the same film, and he had the same type of film.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny because this might not be relevant, but Ladd McConkey, a lot of what everybody was saying was when they were watching corners, they'd have, this was good, but he struggled against Ladd McConkey. Oh, this was great, I love this. No, but he struggled against Ladd McConkey. So it does kind of matter, who you're going up against and how good you do against those certain players. For example, the Ohio State has 2 top edge rushers going into college this season. They also have Michael Hall, who just got drafted to the Browns in the 2nd round, and those 3 were all going up against Fashanu when they played Penn State, and Fashanu could not handle it. He was getting pressured almost all the time, right? So if there's top-tier talent and Fashanu's struggling with that, maybe that's a problem, right? And that's, that's what some teams may look at, and that might be why he dropped. You see what I'm saying? Is a lot, and I get it. Toledo didn't really play against a lot of good players, but at the same time, it's okay, well, you can develop him into understanding what he's missing against those good players. But it's not like he lost against good players though. We don't have that film.
Yeah.
So, but hey, How the fuck are we keep letting the Eagles get a top number 1 guy at wherever they're at?
22,
Pissing me
yeah.
off.
22-9. It doesn't matter.
40.
Yeah. I'll get to that one.
Even.
Up
23.
next, in my opinion, pick of the draft, Brian Thomas Jr. will win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
We alluded to it earlier. These two, the two LSU receivers remind me of a lot of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Brian Thomas wasn't the primary guy during this last season. Just obviously really good because he went at 23. But Jefferson also was not the number 1 receiver on that 2019 team. That was Jamar. And I think this is going to be Trevor Lawrence's breakout year. He'll have Thomas to throw down too deep. He's shown against top level corners that he can get separation, and he's just. I think he is severely. He fell, in my opinion.
He did.
Also,
he did.
Homer pick.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. Remember the name. Will be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Would you be pissed at me if I said I thought Mitchell was 4 for me?
No.
Okay. And he goes 11, by the way.
Yeah.
Isn't that's crazy? But no, I like Brian Thomas. I did hear a little concern with him being kind of a one-trick pony, but I don't feel that way about him, and I'm sure you don't either.
No.
But again, like I was telling you over text, this is a good redundancy. This is a fine redundancy because, again, Gabe Davis, not part of your future. Go ahead and go get your vertical guy that can stretch the field because that's what you need for Trevor Lawrence because that's how he's going to thrive, throwing it down the field, not screens and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So get him to throw down the field. Yeah.
Of Gabe Davis, I get so frustrated with him because he will either have 1 catch for 7 yards or he'll have 5 catches for 238 and 3 touchdowns.
You know why? Because when they play 2 safeties high, he can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So the teams that have something else to worry about, so maybe they don't have a top corner that can guard Diggs, right?
Yeah.
So they have to worry about the short to intermediate, and now they're playing 1 high safety, and now Gabe Davis is able to. So that was the nice thing about Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs is if Diggs is having a great game, then they're forced to play 1 safety high, and Davis can now, boom, right? Or vice versa. So, I mean, it's just like, it's going to be nice. I don't think Gabe Davis has any type of year that he had with the Bills over here in Jacksonville, and I think this is great that they then go with probably, like you said, like the 4th best wide receiver, if not one of the best wide receivers now that, you know, and he's a top wide receiver in other drafts. So, I mean, it's insane.
He's also a number 1 receiver on any other team in the country other than Ohio State and LSU.
That is crazy to think about. You think even Washington?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also Washington they were already three guys deep at that.
They
position,
were,
so.
yeah, no, deep. They all went early in this draft too. Crazy.
Yeah.
Craziness. What is it, 24 now?
Yep.
This is the trade up, right? Yep. Lions.
Yeah.
Absolutely love this pick. By the way, you get a top 2, maybe top 1 corner in the draft. Also fits what the Lions are looking for. A very physical, man coverage corner.
Yeah, I mean that's Terrion Arnold. He's you hit all the.
Yeah, no,
It's an easy pick for them. They trade up, get their guy.
And Lions necessarily don't really care for speed, so him here makes 20 million cents, and them trading up for him because again, Quinyon Mitchell goes off the board, so now you're kind of worried that again, Packers take Arnold there because who in Green Bay thought Arnold was falling to them? They were looking at mostly Wiggins, Kool-Aid, and maybe Cooper DeJean, but Cooper DeJean falls. I'll tell you why when you get to your Cooper DeJean thing, why he fell as far as he did. But yeah, I mean they
He's
weren't.
not a safety.
Well, no, yeah, I'll get to why. I don't think it's a positional thing. I'll get to you why. But Packers didn't really think Terry Arnold would fall to them. So for them to jump in front of their division rival and get a corner from them was perfect. So and they've shown throughout the entire draft process that they're willing to trade up. And one of the big reasons probably is because the draft is in Detroit. Let's get our fans hyped, right? Yeah. So.
Then next, Jordan Morgan, protect your third franchise quarterback in a row. Make sure he's healthy for the next 15 years until they get another franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
This
is a fine reach too. I'm fine with this reach, but it definitely was a reach in my opinion, but I'm fine with it. But again, with Bakhtiari gone, so kind of have to do something there. Can't let that, and a lot of the good tackles were already off the board, so. 25. Yep.
I didn't watch much Duke this year because who really cares about Duke football, being honest. The only Duke center people should care
Daniel
about
Jones
is
isn't there
that's
anymore.
about to get drafted in the NBA draft, or
Kyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Graham Barton again, this is a guy I've been fine with at 20 for the Steelers. Fine for Dolphins at 21. Fine with Seattle at 16, almost even, because again he gives you that tackle flexibility, even if he's gonna be considered a guard or probably gonna play guard off rip. But I mean, the guard play hasn't been good for them for years, and even if they try to draft it later in the draft, it just still doesn't work out. So for them to go a tackle that can play is going to play guard for them off rip, is a good pick, and I'm sure they probably wanted an edge rusher here, but 4 of them went off the board in 13, 15, or 15, 17, 19, 21. So they kind of got screwed on that. They probably didn't think that because a lot of people had Jared Verse dropping them, Latu dropping them, maybe even Dallas Turner dropping to them, and they can't even get Chop Robinson. So I'm sure they were looking edge, but they went with inside O-line, interior O-line there. So
27th, Cardinals trade up with Houston.
Oh my gosh, a Duke center just got drafted right when we were talking about Graham Barton. A Duke
Shut
center.
up.
I'm not kidding you. Jacob Monk to the Packers. That's funny. Everyone was mocking Graham Barton to the Packers. Now they go get a Duke center that's not Graham Barton. Oh my gosh. Oh, also I was gonna say this earlier. Spencer Rattler went to the Saints.
I love it.
I do too.
I love it.
I love that. That is actually perfect in my opinion. So that's good.
Darius Robinson to the Cards.
Another maybe reach, but because I felt like there's other top guys they could have went for, especially on defense. I felt like Newton was there, but again, Newton's an injury guy, so they probably was like, we're not taking a risk on that. Let's go get a guy that's could fit our system. Gannon probably loved him. Because you know why? Because he in Missouri he plays interior to start out. The next year, then he gets moved outside, right? But his body is like a 3-4 defensive end, so he can play defensive end for you right off rip. You don't have to worry about putting him as a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So they can just start him at defensive end and get after the quarterback, bro. It's gonna be really nice for them. And so I love this pick as much as a reach as it might be. Fuck it, go get your guy.
Yeah. 28. The Chiefs are the winners of the first round. They fleece their rival. So Buffalo needs a receiver, right? Xavier Worthy's there. Buffalo likes speed, right? Yep. What do? They trade their pick to the Chiefs, who also love speed, and the Chiefs take Xavier Worthy. Huge pickup. I love it. The only receiver on the team faster than him is Rashee Rice. Sorry if it's too early.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I love it. I love Xavier Worthy to Kansas City.
It's okay because he didn't hurt anybody, so. It's fine. Uh, yeah, I, I can't believe this happened. Like, it
I
doesn't
can't
make any
either.
sense to me.
Kansas City, like I said, they're the winners of the first round.
Just
Yes,
simply, it might not
yes,
be a crazy pick,
the
but
Bears, yeah, the Bears got so much better, but the fact that the Chiefs were able to essentially set back the Bills without even trying.
I just don't get it. This is the team that's kept you from winning a Super Bowl in your Super Bowl window that you haven't had since Jim Kelly. And you're going to sit here and just be like, "All right. Here's here's more." Is it like a white flag? Is that a white flag? Like, "All right,
It might,
you're my daddy now, so I'm going to just going to give back to you."
yeah, it's, yeah, it has to be. I don't know what else it could be.
Yo, Colts double dipped in safeties in back-to-back rounds. That's
Jesus.
That's funny. Okay. I
Next,
mean, it makes
Tyler
sense.
Guyton.
Yeah, this is a guy they probably wanted at 24, but they get him at 29.
Yeah.
Again, it's a Cowboys pick. As much as not people might not like it, and again, as much as people might think it's a reach here, we knew a lot of tackles were gonna go in first round more than actually like people were mocking. So it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, he's very developmental, right? So it's gonna be a little bit of a journey here his first couple of years, but I don't think they need to start him right away necessarily. I think he'll sit behind Steele for a little bit there. But another Tyler on the offensive line as they lose another
right.
Smith.
Nate Wiggins of the Ravens.
How do you feel about it?
I'm somewhere in between hating it and loving it. Like,
Well, why do you love it? I want to hear why you love it.
just a big playability from him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he could be the best cover corner.
He
in
can
this.
like he has the same. I feel like he's the same way as Drake May. He can either be the best corner in this draft class or he can be the worst.
And and with his weight, could definitely lead to being the worst.
Yeah.
Forbes got benched right last year because
Yeah, Forbes got benched because
he was getting
AJ Brown. AJ Brown, yeah, those were tough watches. But for some reason, Washington always, like, whoever's the best team in the division, Washington can play with them. But then we have close games with the Patriots, and like
That's I had a little theory about that. Just
it was
not,
by like 30 to the Bears.
yeah, no, that game was horrible to watch because it made no sense.
Yeah, I know.
0-4 teams going against each other, and the Bears just like, you know what? Let's just like
I know.
do good once.
Washington was 2-2.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so 0-4 team.
0-4.
It just felt like, okay, we've lost 4 games in a row. We just have to at some point. Like they were just at the lowest of lows. They're like, all right, we got to do something.
Yeah.
They had nothing to lose. But again, it's something with division games where it's just the other team too well, and it's just like it's just more of a chess. It's less of a all right, who's better on paper. It's more of a chess piece game. So it's more of a coaching thing. But yeah, it is with Nate Wiggins, like it is a kind of boomer bust thing because he could either have his own island or he could be sinking in the water. So you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be rough. But again, he can get his weight up. He showed that at Pro Day.
If he can weather the storm of his rookie year, I feel like he'll be fine.
Oh yeah. He was sticky at Clemson. There's no doubt about that. So we'll have to and he ran fast ran fast 40. So
we already talked about how much I hate the combine.
Yeah, we did, but the thing with corners though is a lot, and this is like.
But the thing is, with corners and everything, I don't necessarily care about their speed.
Well, if there's zone corner, yeah.
I care about the makeup speed.
The burst speed.
That's what I care about.
Yeah. Okay. A running back from Marshall. Just went to the Ravens. Okay. That would make sense because they got rid of 2 and got 1. So.
But that one counts for 4. So
That one is as big as 4.
yeah. 31.
49ers.
The Niners.
This one surprised me, but it's a flavor thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if by the trade deadline one of their 2 receivers are gone. One of their.
Oh, I wouldn't even say trade deadline. I'd say before the season starts. As much as Lynch keeps saying, we wouldn't do that, it probably will happen. It's a matter of the right team calling and the holdout situation. That's that's the whole thing. Is the holdout. That's what kicks it off. Not the post on my story, not my brother complaining, not my girlfriend complaining, not me unfollowing the team. It's the holdout before the season. That is really what then. I'm not gonna play. I mean, remember Christian? Or wait, did I say Christian Jones? Christian. Why is it Christian Jones? Christian Jones is a tackle in this draft. Never. Sorry. All right.
Jones held out
which he just went. Jeremiah had Christian Jones in his top 55, and he went at 162 to the Cardinals.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, Hunter Hazard just went. This is someone Steelers could have looked at. But anyways, yeah. I mean, 31, Ricky Pearsall. You know, it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, yeah, it's strong hands, obviously. Underrated route runner. So we'll have to see what, the 49ers want to go with here. Or what they want to do long term. But they have some security there, I guess.
And then going from one receiver right to another. Xavier Leggett.
So Spencer Rattler's buddy.
Now division rival.
Oh wow. Crazy. But yeah, this is my third best big body X receiver. So this made a lot of sense for them to go with. They needed an X wide receiver that they can trust, that Bryce Young can trust to create separation, win one-on-ones, stretch the field a little bit at least, right? And that's what Leggett brings to this team, and that's what they needed. No separation, and obviously they're addressing the O-line later down in the draft, and they even did it in free agency. They got Hunt from Miami, and then someone else. They got somebody else. Deion Lewis from the Seahawks. So I think this was necessary for them to completely revamp the offense here. And it starts with Leggett at 32.
Yeah, so that's a wrap up of the first round. Do you have any other comments about it, or?
Yeah. So wait. Did we go over your offensive? You said Brandon Thomas, or not Brandon? Brian Thomas.
Jared Verse are my offensive defensive rookies of the year.
And then for me, it's J.J. McCarthy and Latu. Yeah.
But also, McCarthy and Caleb Williams are also going to be in that conversation.
Yeah, you got to have Caleb Williams as a candidate. You have to.
Yeah.
Almost have to. Any surprises? Like anything other than the Falcons pick, whatever. Anything else that was like actually really surprising to you?
I'm surprised that the Bills traded their pick to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That was the most shocking thing.
And that's not even the selection. It's the trade.
Yes.
It's the integrity of the trade. Like, yes, we were cool with Lions and Vikings doing it. There's not that much of a rival there. And then also when this is what's crazy is these two aren't even in the same division and we're getting all riled up about it. It really comes down to like, hey, this is the team that's literally been like gatekeeping you.
Like every year for the past 6 years.
So, yeah, I don't understand it. Like you almost could have just stayed there and picked the same player.
Yeah.
And it's not like
Or just stayed there. You could honestly, if you stayed there and pick anybody.
yeah, they
could've
could have
been-
picked anybody. They could have
could've
picked
been
Keon Coleman there.
anybody.
It could have been Coleman there. That's
You
who
could've
they got at
taken
33.
William McKinstry.
Yeah.
And then it's now who's your favorite second day pick?
My favorite second day pick. Well, you know my favorite second day pick. All bias. No, but in all seriousness, I love. I mean, there's so many good picks, bro. That's what I love. I love the second round, man. It was great. I mean, there's so many steals, so many like great fits. But I mean, I love. I just talked to you about this. Adonai Mitchell, man, at 52. Which I
Yeah,
believe
52.
and they traded up to get him. He comes off the board as the 11th wide receiver, even though I had him at a 4 or 5. And, like, then Ballard comes out and says, I don't know why there's all these anonymous sources talking about, oh, this kid has personality problems, blah, 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 blah. And I wonder if he's talking about that because he heard from other GMs saying, well, we didn't, because he was probably like, how the fuck did we end up getting Adonai Mitchell at 52 if he's a top 5, top 6, top 7 wide receiver? And he probably thinks that, all these teams just let him slide because they were afraid of personality reasons because of all these anonymous sources. But
So
I don't see it. He's a good kid. Hopefully that works out. But I also really love the Edgerrin Cooper pick. And I know you don't like the Jerzon Newton pick, but I thought that was a great steal for them. Even like I said, I told you they can use him in any different way. I love the Cooper DeJean pick, but again, you would have
also
probably
love
rather
Cooper
had
DeJean
that.
pick.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. We're talking about how we didn't really care that the Vikings and the Lions traded, or we're all up in arms about the Bills and the Chiefs trading. I am so pissed off about Washington trading out of 40 so the Eagles can get Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
But my pick of day 2 is the Steelers taking Zach Frazier.
Yeah,
He
it is my
going to
favorite
be
pick, but I didn't want to say
he
it.
is he is going to be a minimum 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. He is going to be phenomenal for years to come.
And he plays for my Pittsburgh Steelers now, baby.
And that's why I hate him. Like, put my pride aside. Put my pride aside and just...
Yeah, I mean, I loved him coming out. Like, I thought he was a first-round pick, in all honesty, and for us to get him at 51 in a big need, like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it. We're going to do other things here, so please go check out other videos that we'll have up on the channel. But this concludes the draft recap. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all this fun stuff for us. That'd be great. Any other words for you, Dylan?
Thanks for listening. Really appreciate you. Yeah, pretty much all I got.
All right. See you guys.
You're...